Hello and welcome to Succah Daf Ches, Sukkah 28. Shmuel couldn't join me this morning, so we're going to be going solo. We'll start from the top of Daf Ches, Aleph. Tana Rabbanan, second line. Maaseh b'Reb Eliezer Shabbos v'Galil Elyon. Reb Eliezer, he spent Sukkot, or he spent Shabbos in the Upper Galilee, top of Eretz Yisrael. V'Shalu Shloshim Halachos b'Hilchos Sukkah. And they asked him 30 halachos, 30 questions, shilos about Hilchos Sukkah. Shnei Mitzrayim Amar Lehem Shamati. 12 of them he answered. Shemona Asar Amar Lehem Lo Shamati. 18 he wouldn't answer. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Omer Chiluf Advarim. It was the opposite. Shemona Asar Amar Lehem Shamati. 18 he said, I heard. I'll tell you the answer to them. Shnei Mitzrayim Amar Lo Shamati. Lehem Lo Shamati. He said he didn't hear them. Amar Lo Kol Varecha Ein El Pia Shmua. He was saying whether he heard them or not. Shamati or Lo Shamati. Sounds like from Rebbe Eliezer that he would only say things that he heard. Why is that? Why couldn't you say something original? An original answer. You're a Talmud Chacham, you're a Rebbe. You don't have your own answers to these questions? Amar Lahem, he's Kikusuni, Lomar Davar Shlo Shamati Pi Rabosai. He said, you're trying to force me to say something I didn't hear from my Rebbeim, and that we're going to see it's not something that he would do. For example, some of his practices were Miyamai Lo Kadmari Adam Mesa Medrash. No one ever came before him to the base medrash. Lo yashanti base medrash lo shenas kav lo shenas hara. He wouldn't sleep in the base medrash, even a temporary sleeping. V'lo hinachti adam base medrash yatzasi. I never left the base medrash with someone else there. Lo sichasi, leaving a person there by himself. Lo sakti sichas chulin. I never engaged in idle chatter. V'lo amarti davar shlo shamati pi rabbi me'olam. I never said something I never heard from my Rebbe. He also never spoke idle chatter. Whenever he would walk Dalet Amos, 4 Amos, he would make sure he's wearing his tefillin and he's talking in Torah. No one came before him to the base medrash in the morning. He came at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. 3 o'clock is a little early, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. Lo yashan the base of medrash. I didn't sleep at all in the base medrash. I didn't think about divrei Torah even in unclean places, which is very hard to do to control your thoughts. I never left someone by themselves in the base medrash. No one ever found him sitting and just daydreaming. He would always be sitting and learning. He himself would open the door for his talmidim. He also never said anything that he never heard from his rabbi. He never told the talmidim to leave the base medrash, except Erev Pesach, Erev Yom Kippur, to make sure they eat before the fast. Erev Pesach, to make sure they go to sleep so they could be up for the night for Manashtana. Eliezer, his Talmud, the Talmud of Yochanan and Zakkai, was knowing to do these practices like we said before. Tana Rabbanan, Shwanim Talmidim Hayulu Hillel HaZaken. Hillel HaZaken had 80 Talmidim. Shloshim Mehen Ru'in Shtish Alei. 80 of them were fit that 30 of them were fit that the Shekhinah would rest on their shoulders, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Shloshim Mehen Ru'in Shtam Lehem Chama Gishubeinu. And 30 of them were fit that the sun should stay in the middle of the sky and not set. Let's see, for 24 hours, like it should be done. Esrim, Beinonim, 20 were average. The greatest of his Talmidim was Zakkai. And the smallest one, he was called the Beinoni, was Yochanan Zakkai. And how great was Yochanan Zakkai? Mikra, Mishnah, he never, Gemara, Halachos, Agados. He never left over, he didn't learn, he made sure he learned every pasuk, every Mishnah, every Gemara, every Halach HaMashinai, every Agadata. Dikdukei Torah, Dikdukei Sofrim. Dikdukei Torah is when there's an extra letter, an extra word in the Torah, you're medayik to learn something from it. Dikdukei Sofrim, like Zeros, and the Kanas that Chazal made. Kalim, Chamurim, Akal V'chomer, Gzeras Shavos. He learned all the Gzeras Shavos, Kufos, he learned how to calculate the months, Gematrios for Shabbos Sheva Brachos. He learned all the Gematrias. Sichas Malache Hasharis. Sichas Shedim. Sichas Tekalim. He was able to pick up on Malachim talking and Shedim talking and the conversations between palm trees. Mashlos kofasin and mashlos shualin. And also parables where they use the topic of the parable was a person who did laundry, or a fox. Davar gadol, they have the thing about the fox. The fox when the gingerbread man, the gingerbread man went out on the fox and he tried to eat him, crossing the river. Davar gadol, davar katan. Not a big thing, not a small thing. He didn't leave anything unturned. Davar gadol, what is davar gadol? It's a great thing. Ma'aser Merkava, you learn Ma'aser Merkava. Davar katan, havayos Abai v'Rava. You learn all the machlokesim between Abai and Rava. L'kayim mashenemar lahanchel ova yesh v'altroseim amale. The Mekayim, the pasuk, that Hashem gives a nachala, gives a portion, gives a big portion to people who love Him. V'altroseim amale, they'll fill up their storehouses. They'll fill up their storehouses with Torah. The smallest one was Succah, and he learned everything. He knew everything. Certainly, the greatest, Yonasan ben Uziel, can imagine how great he was. When he was learning Torah, any bird that was flying over his head would immediately be burnt. Mishnah. Someone who had his head and most of his body in the sukkah, and his shulchan, his table, was in the house. Beishai post. They still say you're not yotzei your mitzvah sukkah like this. They still allow you to do this. Wasn't there an incident where the elders of Beit Shammai, elders of Beit Hillel, went Levakir Yochanan ben Hornis to visit Rabbi Yochanan ben Hornis, who was sick? He was doing just that. His table was in the house. They didn't say anything to him. So you see, it's okay. Beit Shammai said to him, Beit Shammai, you bring a proof from over there. You miss something they said. They said, if you were knowing to do this your whole life, you're never Mekayim mitzvah. Women and slaves, Ketanim, are all exempt from the sukkah. But a katan who's a gil chinuch, he doesn't need his mother anymore. We'll see what that means in the Gemara. So then he's chayiv in sukkah, because of chinuch. There's an incident where the daughter-in-law of Shammai Zaken gave birth to his grandchild. He was extra machmir. We'll see in the Gemara that he was extra machmir. Really, only katan shegil chinuch needs a sukkah. He took part of the roof, which didn't have plaster on it. He removed the boards, the beams, which were 4 tefachim, let's say in puzzle, and he put a kasher schach in order that the katan should be in the sukkah. Gemara says, "Menani mili." How do you know that women are patur from the sukkah? And ketanim rechayam. The Tanur Rabban Ezrach, ze Ezrach. Ezrach is a native person, a citizen, the person who is native to the land. Ha Ezrach. It says an extra hey lahotzi es hanoshim, to exclude the women. Kol, it says Kol Ezra, Kol Rabos Tanim. Kol comes to include Tanim that are Gil Chinuch. Amar Mar Ezra Lahosi Hanoshim. The extra Hey comes to exclude women. Lememra the Ezra Beinoshim and Gavri Mashma. The word Ezra, if it didn't say the Hey, it would have meant to include women also. Atanya Ha Ezra. A different price says La Rabos Hanoshim. Ha Ezra Yoshkewas Beino. A different price says the extra Hey teaches me that women are chayiv to fast on Yom Kippur. Alma Ezra Gavri Mashma. If it was said it without a Hey, Ezra, a citizen, is just men. So the Ha is to include women. It says to resolve Yom Kippur, it comes to include women. Sukkah comes to exclude women. He says really these are halacha Moshe Sinai, and they just supported him with a pasuk. So the Gemara says Hai Krav Hai Elchasa. Which one is the actual halacha Moshe Sinai, and which one is the actual meaning of the pasuk? Meaning, why did you choose in one pasuk to include them, one pasuk to exclude them? You have to make up your mind. V'su kra lamali. Why didn't the pasuk hilchasa lamali? I don't even know halacha Moshe Sinai. It has sukkah mitzvah seishes mangram. I know that women are patur from sukkah. It's mitzvah seishes mangram, time bound. Chol mitzvah seishes mangram and hashim paturos. They're patur. Yom Kippurim. They're chayim. They're Yehuda Marav now. Go another for somewhere else. From Yehuda Marav. The Amar Yehuda Marav. V'chein Tana D'Rei Yishmael. Amar Kra Isha Isha. Pasuk says a man or a woman. Hishve hakas of Isha Ish the Chol Onshim Torah. It's not a carbon. So the Torah Isha tell you that by punishment, a carbon can serve as a punishment. are equated for all the onshin in the Torah. And Yom Kippur is a punishment of kari, so therefore they're included in Inoi. If you don't fast, you get kari. Samar Abaye, the Olam Sukkah Hilchasa. Really, Sukkah is halacha l'mishnah. It's tzarich. I still need a pasuk. Saka daita chamina. I still need you to teach me that women are pturim. Saka daita chamina teishu ken taduru. It says you live in your sukkah the way you live in your house. Madi or ish v'ishto. Just like when you reside in your house, a man stays with his wife. Af sukkah ish v'ishto. So therefore, you think a man should stay with his wife in the sukkah also, and she should be chayiv in sukkah. Kamash malan. That you need the halacha meshusina, tell me that they're pturos. Rav Amar Itzrich, you need the halacha meshusina. Isagda chamina yalev chamisha michaga matzos. You learn. It says tedvav by Sukkot and by Pesach. Mala hala nashim chayav just by matzah. Women are chayiv. The Gemara in Pesachim on Daf Mem Beis and Mem Gimel. The Gemara learns out that women are chayiv since they're obligated not to eat chametz. They're obligated to eat matzah. So too, they're obligated to eat matzah. They're obligated to be in the sukkah also. Afkan Nashim Chaya Malha Nashim Chayavos. Afkan Nashim Chayavos. Kamash Malan, we don't say it. They're really popular. Bahasha Amar Sukkah Hilchasa Telcham Lushina that women are pturos Kral Amali. Why do you need a pasuk Ha Ezra? The Rabbis that Gerim Ha comes to include Gerim, that converts, even though they're not natives, they're not citizens, they're not native citizens, but they're still Chayav. Satach Amina Ha Ezra Pis Shalom Rahman Avalos Gerim. Only the native citizens and not the Gerim. Kamash Malan. Therefore even Gerim are chayiv in mitzvah sukkah. Yom Kippurim Rav Yehuda Marav Nafka. So Yom Kippurim you don't need. We learn from Yehuda Marav that women are chayiv in Inoi. Lo nitzracha el teseves Inoi. What do you need the pasuk for? Ha Ezra. You need it for teseves Inoi. That even before Yom Kippur and after Yom Kippur a little bit, you have to add on and do a little. Not eat a little before Yom Kippur, not eat a little after Yom Kippur. Sagda, I mean, ho meat Rachman Tosevasino me onish me azara. The Gemara on Yuma on Daf Pei Aleph, we learned exclude Tosefes Yom Kippurim from punishment. There's no punishment over there. There's no lav. There's no azhar. There's no warning, and therefore learn chayv Nashim Klal. Therefore, you can't lose Yehuda Marav. That's only by onshin. It's just a mitzvah essay. Tosefes woman shouldn't be chayv kamash and therefore you need high Ezrach to include woman into Tosefes anyway. Amar Mar, Kol Rabos Aktanim. Kol comes to include Ktanim that are chayiv in the mitzvah. Atnan, the Mishnah says Nashim in the mitzvah of the sukkah. Atnan, Nashim Avadim Ktanim Turim in the sukkah. The Mishnah says Ktanim are potter from the sukkah. Lo kasha, kan bekatan shegiyah lachinach, kan bekatan shelo yagiyah lachin. If he reached the age where he could be taught how to do the mitzvah, then he's chayiv. If not, katan shegiyah lachin midrabanan. So why does the Gemara say Kol? It sounds like a drasha del Raisa. That Ktanim are chayiv in the sukkah, it's only midrabanan. The higiyah lachin is only midrabanan. In order to teach him how to accustom him to doing the mitzvahs, it's not really bar chiyuva. So the Gemara says midrabanan across machta b'almi. Really, you're right. It is midrabanan. And when it says kol, it's just a support that Rabbanan found from the pasuk, but it's not the real drasha d'oraisa. Katan shina tzarach lima. What is the Mishnah defines? What is a katan shigiyah lachin? Heichi dami katan shina tzarach lima. What is considered a katan? Doesn't need his mother. It's considered a giyah lachin. Amri. The Bei Rabbi Yana call shenifna imo mekanchasa. When he goes to the bathroom, he defecates. He goes gedolim, and his mother doesn't have to wipe him. No one has to wipe himself. So he's considered katan and giyah lachinach. Rabbi Shimon Omer call sheneir beishinaso ina koreima. He wakes up from his sleep, doesn't call out mommy, mommy. He doesn't say mommy. So the ima gedolim nami kar. Even big kids, even kids that are 40, 45 years old, not married. I'm joking. I don't know, even 8-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, 13-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids, they get up and they cry, mommy. They want something from their mother. So the Gemara answers, Ema kol sheneir ve'eno kor ima ima. It doesn't yell crazily, ima ima. My daughter, when she wakes up in the middle of the night, she goes, mommy, 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 mommy. So you say mommy more than once. You say mommy, mommy. It sounds a little crazy. That means you're not a giyah lachinach. When you say, mommy, can you get me something? That is a giyah lachinach. Maisa v'yalda kalas. So we see this incident. There's Maisa listor. The Maisa with Shammai Zakin is Sosia, what we said before. We said only if you say Enon Sarach Lima, is giyah lachinach, then you're chayiv in sukkah. But here we're talking about a little child who's just born. And Shammai was machmir, they should be in the sukkah. Sorry, the missing part of it. This is what it meant to say. The Shammai machmir, Shammai was machmir. Or Maisa Nami, the Maisa was v'yalda kalas shel Shammai. His daughter-in-law gave birth to Zakin. He took part of the roof away. And he put kosher stock there for the cotton to be part of the sukkah. Mishnah says, "Kol shivas yom adam osis kosel kval beisa arai." All 7 days, a person makes his sukkah permanent, in a certain sense, that he's really living there. Beisa arai, his house is temporary residence during those 7 days. Yardu gshamim, if rain starts to fall on your sukkah, when can you leave your sukkah? When your porridge, if you ate porridge, you're like the 3 bears, and you're eating your porridge on sukkah. So then you're eating your oatmeal, your porridge, whatever you like to eat. When the rain gets in and it ruins it, then you can leave the sukkah. If it rains on sukkahs, what is the comparable to? He came, an Eved comes to bring a glass of wine to his master, and the master takes a jug of water and splashes on his face. He's not happy with him. The water, I guess, is a mashal for the rainfall. And you're serving a glass of wine, you're eating in a sukkah. Mekayim mitzvah of sukkah. Hashem sends rain, it's like splashing water in your face. Gemara says, he makes his sukkah permanent, and his house he makes temporary. He has nice utensils, mal sukkah. He brings them to the sukkah. He has nice china. He has a nice menorah from Hanukkah. He has a nice break front. Bring your break front to your sukkah. Matzos knows he has nice embroidery, nice sheets. Mal in the sukkah, you bring them, you hang on the walls. Ochel shows some matayil b'sukkah. You eat and you drink. Matayil article says you relax or stroll. You have fun in your sukkah. Manani Mili. Where do we know this from? Where in the Torah did it tell you this? Tanar Rabbanan Teishru came to the It says Teishru Shivas Yomim. You should live there. Can't Duru. It sounds like permanent. Like you should live there, like the way you live in a dira. The way you live in your sukkah is in a more permanent fashion than your house. He has nice utensils in the sukkah. Matzos knows nice sheets mal in the sukkah. You eat and you drink, you relax in your sukkah. Mashanim b'sukkah. And the Bryce is in it, and you learn in the sukkah. And is this true? You really learn in the sukkah. When you learn Chumash and you learn Mishnayos, you learn in the sukkah. But when you learn Gemara, you do it outside your sukkah, in the base meadows of your house. When you're just doing Bikiyus, let's say, you're just learning quickly, that you can do in the sukkah. Yune requires more thought. You need air conditioning. You go into the base meadows, you go into your house. So Raya, you shouldn't put air conditioning in your sukkah. No, I'm joking. You should put air conditioning in your sukkah. America, you put heat in your sukkah. Kiha, the Rav Barachama kevu kami the Rav Chisda, top of Chotem and Aleph. When Rav Barachama was standing in front of Rav Chisda, Marati b'Gemara b'Hadi Adadi. They would learn the Gemara very quickly together. B'Hadir Ma'anim b'Svar, and then they would learn it more more in depth. With that, we'll conclude today's shir. I hope you enjoyed. I hope Shmuel will come back tomorrow. Have a good day.